going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we have got Arsene Wenger's 4-4-2, a legendary manager with a legendary team. Now, of course, we are going to test with the current Arsenal team and a couple of wild cards, PSG and Bristol Rovers. If you do enjoy the tactics, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get into the results first. And as always, if you've got any recommendations, you can slap them in the comments. Let's go. Then we're going to start off with Arsenal, the main topic of the video. And it surprised me because I'm not sure if their team still suits a 4-4-2 because I haven't really got any good strikers. But obviously, this is a video game and Kai Havertz is actually quite good. So I will go over and say the Premier League was remarkable. We only lose one game against Liverpool, which is fair enough. They're a top team. We do draw 4 games as well, but against pretty decent teams. We do lift the FA Cup over Liverpool as well in 2-1 fashion. All while Gabriel Martinelli, who I did actually think him or Saka will do very well in this system because the wingers are very, very good in this system. They do a lot goes through them, so they were going to do quite well. Kai Havertz is a big surprise. Now, in terms of the team stats, defensively is what I was after. Rock solid at the back, good going forward as well. Possession, not really a focus, but I will take 55%. And when it comes to the pass completion, we're not going to be in there, which does make me ask the question, where are we? 87.58 is pretty decent. The goals per game is over 3. A good amount of goals conceded as well in terms of very little, 0.58. And we are actually scoring way above the average compared to the rest of the team. So, I mean, you base that fact off. You base the Data Hub facts. You base these facts and the fact that we have won a Premier League and an FA Cup. Maybe Arsene Wenger should go back. And this FA Cup final against Liverpool was not actually an easy game. Despite going 1-0 up incredibly early on, I will say whenever you play Liverpool, you know you're not going to get an easy game. Now, this sort of was proven here because there's poor playing out from the back. Diaz is going to find Darwin, goes through into Mo Salah, and he is never going to miss a chance like that. So at this point, the game could have went literally either way. But in traditional Arsenal sense, set piece FC win. For PSG, I accidentally simmed a little bit too far and the league table has reset. But just to show you what we did do, this is from last season, 33 wins and 1 draw. So what, 98% win rate? It is a remarkable season. I'm now going to go and try and find what we've done in the other competitions. So, in terms of the Trophée des Champions, we did actually beat Monaco in that game, and that was 4-0. And the Champions League final, where we actually played ourselves in Arsenal, and we get off to a great start here. Diabolical defender from, who is that? Let's call him out. Oh, it's Odegaard. Let's be easy on him. He's not a defender, but a great start for PSG. Arsenal do get back into the game, to be fair. Great from Declan Rice, a turn and an easy but good finish from Kai Havertz. But obviously, PSG are the better team with the better players in this game based off ability. So traditionally, you are going to look to win these games. And I tell you what, that's exactly what we've done. And with Fabian doing that, we'll take it. Have managed to get the Data Hub stats. Now, this is from the entire of last season. So, 5 goals a game, 0.44 conceded, a good amount of pass completion. Now, I know we are playing as PSG, but 5 goals a game, that is absolutely incredible. And remember, obviously, old news I know, this is without Mbappe at PSG. We're talking Kolo Mani getting the goals, Vitinha chipped in a fair bit as well. It's a great performance. Then we go and test lastly with Bristol Rovers, a very weak team in Sky Bet League 1, which you wouldn't think because we do win the league by a decent margin. Not incredible, but a decent margin. We also do win the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, which, to be fair, as the overview, we do win on penalties over Birmingham, which is actually quite a tough game for this team. We are going to have Chris Martin coming in with 38 goals. He looks exactly like someone off Love Island, doesn't he? You can just tell he's got the tan going on. He's got the turkey teeth as well. It's what reminds me. Let's go over to the team stats. We are going to see 125 goals being scored, 822 shots for. Birmingham are going to dominate the fewer shots against. We are going to be very close to them, but they just edge us in that regard. In terms of the conceded, we are going to take home that trophy, but the clean sheets is also going to go to Birmingham, and we're going to have to settle with a second place joint with Bolton. But once again, the Data Hub is going to come up and prevail a good stat line, exactly scoring 2 more goals compared to what we are going to be conceding, a great pass completion, and a good amount of shots per game. And this is not a season to turn your nose up at, especially with a team like Bristol. It is absolutely remarkable. So I look through what we've done. Obviously a treble with PSG. Arsenal also was a very good season. Bristol, a great season. let's go and break it down. So then, now over to your favourite part of the video. Of course, that is going to be the tactical breakdown. If you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And once again, if you do enjoy rebuilds, make sure you do come over to Daily Josh. That is my second channel. If you're subscribed to that one as well, you get a tactic every other day and a rebuild every other day. And we have got quite a few Arsenal rebuilds on there from across the year, which you are bound to love if you're an Arsenal fan or just like Football Manager. But to make this tactic, you want to do two things: create your own style and simply go ahead and load in the famous 4-4-2. Next step is to actually change this from balanced all the way up to positive, because balance is a little bit too negative for a 4-4-2, especially in this game. Now, for the first time in a few tactics, we are going to deploy a goalkeeper simply on defend. It's actually quite nice to go back to having a basic goalkeeper every now and then, and to keep it even more basic, because back in the day, obviously they did exist, but you didn't have too many of these luxurious ball-playing defenders. It was more defend, more, you know, doing what you're actually meant to do. So we are going to have two central defenders, which again is quite nice to see, but this is where things are going to change a little bit. So let's go over and discuss the fullback and the wingback. First off, we are going to deploy a wingback on support on the left hand side, and he is going to have some instructions because by default he'll literally have one. Now I want this player to firstly take more passing risks, also cross from the byline, run wide, and also stay wider. I want him to be providing the width in this team, as I also want the fullback to be doing on the right hand side, who is set to support on very similar stuff, take more risks, also have him set to get forwards, stay wider, and also tackle harder. So they are very similar, just a little bit different. Both of them are going to provide width in this team because we are going to deploy two sort of inverted options. Therefore, the wingback and the fullback have got a great opportunity to push on and obviously hopefully get us some assists, which they did a very good job of. Now, going over to that midfield, to start things off on the right hand side, we are going to go with a ball winning midfield player who is simply going to come in on the default on support. Naturally, he is going to have tackle harder, and to partner him, the perfect role in this team to describe the way they used to play would be a box-to-box in my opinion, and he is also going to be on tackle harder. A very aggressive midfield pairing who one of them will push up occasionally, the other one will simply be there to aim to win the ball back, as it literally says on the tin. Now on the left hand side, we are going to operate with an inverted winger, and on the right hand side, we are going to do exactly the same, and they are going to have some instructions. So first off, we are going to add on take more risks, get further forwards. We are also going to have set to stay wider and roam from position. So what is originally going to happen with this, let me apply it to this player as well. So stay wide, get forward as well, also roam, and of course we are going to add on take more risks. So they are going to match identically. Now the great thing about this is when they actually sort of are out of possession, they are going to provide width in the team, but once they have got the ball, they're going to run, obviously get forwards and, you know, contribute, but they are going to cut inside with the ball and end up around about here on either side, meaning by the time the fullback pushes up on the right or the wingback pushes up on the left, they're not going to get in each other's way, and both players can deliver a very good ball into the box. I do want to quickly say, at this part of the video, if you are interested in getting access to all three of these tactics, getting them on console and on mobile, and getting all of these wonderful perks, including all of my rebuild files, you also get one-on-one tactical help, access to big monthly giveaways. You can come over and join the Patreon and be part of a team of 5,000 members. We do big stuff over there, daily exclusive content, and trust me, it's the ultimate place to be. We've got tons of cool stuff coming up as well, so hopefully I see you over there. But going up to the front too, we are actually going to operate with what you see on your screen. So it is going to be a deep lying forward. He is going to be told to dribble more and also roam from the position, and the advanced forward is simply going to be told to take more risks, dribble more, and also roam from the position. So a nice bit of movement from the front too as well, which of course is very crucial in a 4-4-2. Now going over to the in possession, we are going to buff this up to 1, so we are still going to be classed as fairly wide, but not in the middle. Boost it up by 1, pass into the space. Overlapping is crucial in this tactic while playing out from the back. Now, we haven't got ball playing defenders. You still can play out from the back. You've got to imagine if our goalkeeper plays to our centre back, we've got two deep options in midfield. We've got very sort of defensive minded wing backs as well originally, who will be near the centre backs. It's very easy to play out from the back in this system. We are then going to look to run at defence, set to low crosses. The passing is going to remain in the middle. The tempo is going to go up by 1 to slightly higher. We are then going to aim to go to in transition, leave this blank, hit them on the counter, and play to anyone across the back line. As I was saying before, of course, we have got a lot of players at the back, but then have almost another 4 block ahead of them in 2 inverted wingers, the box-to-box and the DM, or the ball-winning midfield player. They can then pick it up and translate it and push it up to the front too. When it comes to out of possession, we are going to look to deploy the mid-block with that standard line with a pressing trap to trap outside, step up more alongside of get stuck in, and also maxing out the trigger press to much more often. Now, as always, I've got you covered on this channel. This is going to be an attacking version of the tactic, designed for bigger teams and to get you back into a game or to win a game if things aren't going your way. Now, in terms of the goalkeeper and the central defenders, they do remain the same. The fullback goes set to attack, take more risks, stay wider and tackle harder. The wingback on the left, now on attack as well, take more risks, run wide and also stay wider. We then deploy 2 inverted wingers, both on attack, on take more risks, roam and both stay wider. So again, the wide area is going to be a lot more attacking now. The DLP remains the same, the box to box remains the same bar 1, as he is also now going to be told to get further forwards. The deep line forward and the advanced forward do remain exactly the same. And what I will say about this is, if you want to go fully in behind sort of vibes, get the ball over the top and let them run, you could use 2 advanced forwards. But for realism, we are going to keep the deep line forward. Now, the big change in terms of the team instructions, we are going to go up to attacking. That is a big change you must have. The width remains the same, the crosses remain the same. This is an additional thing. We are actually going to aim to hit early crosses and basically get the ball into those 2 strikers. We've got the firepower, feed the strikers. We are also going to keep this exactly the same because we want to keep that attacking side to us. And on this occasion, run at defence, be more expressive, and the tempo up to 1 to a nice and simple, slightly higher. Now in transition, we are going to keep it pretty much the same. Counter press, counter, play into anyone across the back line. If you want to boost it up a little bit more, I didn't personally. You can also add distribute quickly, but for me, I didn't really feel the need. Out of possession, we are going to aim to have the high defensive line with the high press. So that is a real big change right there. Not only boosting up the line, but also the high press as well. We are going to max out the trigger press, get stuck in, step up more, and also have the same pressing trap, because you can see where it presses people into. They're not going to get out of it, so make sure you've got that applied. Now, defensive tactic, and it does change shape a little bit, but technically it is still a 4-4-2, and if you want to, you could even drag these down here. But to have a tactic like this, I push the wingers up a little bit because I still want to go and score goals, you know, so that's why they're a little bit more pushed up than the 2 DM options. The goalkeeper and the central defenders do remain the same. The fullback on the right, simply now on defend, on tackle harder. The wingback on defend, on tackle harder. The DM on support on the right, on tackle harder and mark tighter, and the DLP simply on tackle harder. The wingers, of course, are now going to be fully responsible for providing the width because the fullbacks aren't going to be pushing on really. Although I say that, I did actually notice a lot, especially with, I've had a bit of a mind blank now, with Bristol Rovers, the wingbacks and the fullbacks still actually do attack a little bit, because I do actually still have overlap on, so they will get forward a little bit, but nowhere near to the same extent as what they were. So the wingers are going to be the same, both on support, on take more risks, run wide, get forward and roam. The DLF remains the same, and the advanced forward also does remain the same. Mentality, we are going to still be set to positive, so make sure you're not got on attacking again. The width remains the same, the crosses exactly the same, pass into space, overlap left, overlap right, while playing out from the back. We are still going to run at defence because, again, although we are a defensive team now, I still want to have a bit about us. And we are going to lower that tempo, so we're not using much energy at all. But we are going to ping that ball forward, send the ball long, and get onto the end of it, because I want a defensive tactic, but I still want to go and counter and grab a goal. In terms of in transition, we're now going to look to regroup. So again, reserve the energy out of possession. When we have the ball, wingers fly forward, strikers fly forward. Slow the pace down, play to the centre-backs and also the full-backs. And lastly, out of possession, back to the mid-block and that standard line. Trap outside, we are also going to go with step up more, alongside of get stuck in, and a balanced in the middle trigger press. And that's going to give you boys and girls not one, not two, but three versions of Wenger's Arsenal, should I say, a legendary manager with a legendary team, with a legendary season. A great manager which I imagine a lot of Arsenal fans still miss to this day. They would pretty much much his Alex Ferguson. I can't compare the two. Alex Ferguson clears. But anyway, a very, very good manager. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.